Hi, I'm Alison and welcome to the China Repair Studio. So today I thought I would just finish off this small porcelain jug. Now on my previous tutorial we actually filled him in with some Milliput. He was missing a piece just here and it went through to the other side. Now we've filled him in and it's been cured, so it's been left to dry for around 48 hours and it's nice and hardened, so it's ready for sanding and painting. Now before I do show you, if you could subscribe that would be great, and also please like and share, and also please comment. I love to know where you're from, and also if you have any problems give me put something in the comment section and perhaps I could help you. Now when it comes to sandpaper, I use a German brand, and gosh, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's Matador Wasserfest, and it's a wet and dry paper, and it starts off with a 180 and then it goes up in levels up to 1200, which is the finest one, finer than 180. So I wouldn't start with 180 to begin with because it is porcelain and it's almost been done. I would probably start with the 800. So what I would do is just tear a little piece off and then just start to sand. Now when you're sanding, when it comes to the point of where you've almost finished sanding and you can see the original and a line, so for instance here, I don't know if you can see the line of the original and where the Milliput is. Obviously it's sort of not so, there's less there than on the other side, it's a bigger piece missing on the other side. Now when you get to your sandpaper, you don't want to sandpaper from the Milliput to the original. If you sandpaper, for instance, so here we are, here's the Milliput. If you sand from the Milliput and go this way to the original, eventually you would end up with a ridge, and if you close your eyes you would feel it and you would see it. So what you want to do is when you've almost come to the end of it, when it's almost finished, you want to sandpaper from the original piece to the Milliput. So here's the original piece, for instance, and you would sand in a motion that way. Don't go up and down because again you would end up with a ridge. Just gently sand this way towards the Milliput. That way it would end up smooth and even and you won't end up with any ridges. So I think almost there. So that's the 300. So we'll probably do a couple more. So let's go now to, let's go to an 800. Again, I would just take a small piece and again sand. Now once your pieces, for instance, are all covered with the white where you've sanded, start on a new piece, otherwise you're not going to get such of the effect, it won't work so efficiently. And then just sand towards. Now once we've done that, we then lastly work onto the finest grade we have here, which is the 1200. Again, if you take a small piece and then just go towards the Milliput. Now this inside, it actually does have ridges, so it's quite tricky, whereas the outside is more smooth, but that doesn't matter. And you want to get the correct shape when you're round as well. This doesn't have any hard lines, it's quite smooth as it goes round, so you want a continuation of the shape. Now obviously if you put Milliput onto your item and you put too much Milliput on, that's no problem, but it just takes a lot longer to sand down. And then just on this side. And then once you've done that and you're quite happy, it's on to the next level. But I can see before I do finish, I still have a piece here which is on the natural, the original. So you could get a blade if you're very careful and just scrape it off. Otherwise you could be there for quite a while. Don't want to go onto the other, and that will just set it off. Then we can just finish off then. Okay, just go carefully. Right, now I've done that, you can just finish off with the sand, which would be, I think that's, yeah, that was the 1,000, wasn't it, or the 12, let's have a look, we'll do the 1,000, just to finish that bit there, so it just all blends in, that's better. Right, so there we are. Now, once you've done that, it's a really good idea if you can possibly get hold of, and that is some easy mesh. Now, easy mesh here I have, and it's similar to sandpaper basically, but extremely fine, and it comes on a cloth, and it's micro mesh, and it is 12,000, so it's a lot finer, and you just use. I tend not to cut it, I just leave it as a whole, and you just want to finish off using the easy mesh. Now what this does, it actually makes a nice shine on it, and it makes it so smooth that when you close your eyes, which is the great test, if you can't feel any ridges, you know it's as good as it can be, ready for painting or ready for glazing. Now there is a difference between glazing and painting. So if I just glazed it straight like this, so you could see where it has been damaged, but it's usable and glazed, it is called a museum repair. So not everybody wants it completely perfect, and that's fine. And so you're restoring it, but without the final flourish, if you like. But you're protecting it also with the Milliput, with the glaze. Or you could actually paint it and then glaze it, so you can't see where it starts and finishes. Right, there we go. Now I did say to this client, she actually wanted a museum repair on this. She actually wanted to see where it had been damaged, which is actually fine because that's part of its history now. It's fallen, she's broken it, it's had a chip, it's been mended, and she can see that chip, and it's part of its life, its history, if you like. So there's no shaming actually just doing a museum repair. And actually I quite enjoy doing museum repairs, so you can still see where it's been damaged, but still usable. Right, now that's quite good. And on the inside. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use some ceramic glaze. Now when I tend to use a glaze, I do like to use a flat brush. I do find a flat brush doesn't tend to get the lines so much. If you use a paintbrush, it can get liney, particularly if you were, I'll just demonstrate, if you were painting on if you were glazing a plate, a big large surface, I would definitely use a flat brush because you need to be quick. Otherwise, if you keep going over the same piece with some glaze, it will get liney. But with this, because it's only a small piece, and we can actually use a brush because it's only a small amount, and that will be fine. Now there are plenty of glazes on the market, depending where you live. I tend to use Rustin ceramic glaze, which I love. It's waterborne and it's quick drying. Although it's quick drying to the touch within a few minutes, it does take 48 hours, even 10 days up to cure 100%. Now, if you do live abroad, if you're in America, Australia, Canada, wherever, I know this is very difficult to get hold of, but although I haven't tried it, I do know that Winsor & Newton do a ceramic glaze. Now, obviously, this is a jug, so this I know is food safe, but you would have to obviously look at the information if you're using another product. So with this, I do tend to put it into a smaller jar because it dries very quickly and it's quite expensive. And then I just keep transferring, because every time you open it up, it does dry. My only problem with this one, it's dried so much, I can't actually open it. So I am going to go straight in. So just give it a shake. And I would just take a brush and a plate. Just put a tiny bit onto the plate. And then just very quickly close this so it doesn't get any more air into it. Now I'll just take the plate, and now you don't need too much of this because it can drip, and the last thing you want is drip stains and then you've got to start all over again and take it off. So I will start from here, and you don't need very much, and blend it through and put a tiny bit on the original as well, and then just a little bit here. Again, you don't need much, and there we go. Okay, that's it. It's a tiny bit on there. Now, if you have an item which isn't completely shiny and it's slightly cloudy, what you could do is add just a tiny bit of water, just a tiny amount, to your ceramic glaze. That would set it, but it would also make it less shiny, if you like. It would make it slightly cloudy, and so it would blend in with the piece, because I realise not all pieces are completely shiny. This is with a shiny glaze, but again, as I say, if you have something which is slightly cloudy, just add a tiny bit of water in with the glaze. It will still set and dry, but it would just be more cloudy and it would blend in with your piece. Now this is finished, and so I'm going to leave this to dry, this museum repair, for around 48 hours. I would be able to touch it, as I said before, in a few moments, but 48 hours to completely seal is going to be 10 days. And there we are. Again, if you can just quickly, when you do use any ceramic glaze, put it into water straight away so it doesn't harden. And then there we are. So there we go. That's him all finished. So I thought what I'd just show you quickly is I have got this beautiful Femel Rose bowl here from, I think, the 18th century, 19th century. I need to double check, and it's from a client, and it's been broken in half. I don't know if you can see here. It's got a huge big crack in it, and it goes all the way through. And so I need to break it apart, put it back together again, glue it, Milliput it, and I think I might do something quite special with this. And although I was in my next video going to do show you my 18th century, I think they were English Delftware vases, I thought I'm going to do this first because I can show you a different technique at the end. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, please like and please share, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.